Good morning, everyone. So today we're going to be talking about frogs and their life cycle, and we're also going to be doing an experiment where we use tissue paper and a balloon to make frogs jump. So let's get started. So I have stamped, because I'm not very good at drawing, some frogs onto some tissue paper, and then we're going to use a balloon, and I'm going to use a hat from winter. So I'm going to build up some static electricity on the balloon by rubbing it, and then we're going to have the frogs jump up to the balloon from down on the table. So to build up static electricity, you can rub your hair or your clothing or something like a hat. So it's just about building up that static electric charge onto the balloon so that the paper frogs will jump. So they're jumping up to the balloon, and this is because of static electricity. So let's talk a little bit about static electricity. So amazingly, we see static electricity every single day. It even builds up on us. Have you ever rubbed your feet on the carpet and then zapped something when you touch it? So that is static electricity. Another example of static electricity is when your pants or your skirt sticks to your legs and they just keep sticking no matter what you do. That's another example of static electricity. Or when your hair sticks up on end and you can't get it to go down, that's also static electricity. So static electricity is the buildup of an electrical charge on the surface of an object. So that would be the balloon in this case. The reason that it's called static electricity is because the charge stays in one area for some time and it doesn't move to a different area. A static charge happens when two surfaces touch each other. So if you rub an object quickly, like this balloon on a hat, these will build up a rather large charge. So items with different charges, like positive and negative, will attract each other, while items with similar charges, positive and positive, will push each other away, like a magnet. So let's look at this one last time. Let's get our frogs to jump up to the balloon. So we're getting that charge onto the balloon by rubbing it on the hat. And then we're going to attract the tissue paper frogs up to the balloon. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the life cycle of a frog. So now we're going to read from a tadpole to a frog. So this is a frog pond, but where are the frogs? So when winter winds whistle, the frogs hide. They sleep at the bottom of the pond in the soft mud. Frogs hibernate in their hideaway all winter long. After the ice melts, flowers appear, birds return, and the pond creatures wake up. Spring has arrived at Frog Pond. Here are the old frogs stretching their legs. At night you hear brum, brum, brum. The males are calling to their mates. The female hears the call. She lays her eggs in the water. Thousands of soft, jelly-covered eggs cling together in the cool water. In about 10 days, the eggs hatch. The pond comes alive with thousands of tiny tadpoles. They wiggle their tails and breathe underwater with gills, just like fish. During the summer, the tadpoles swim about eating water plants. But water beetles, snakes, and birds are eating too. They're eating tasty tadpoles. When fall comes, look carefully in the water. Are any tadpoles left? Look here. Are they tadpoles or wet leaves? They're brownish speckled tadpoles. Hundreds of them float by with the brownish speckled leaves. Eating and swimming, swimming and eating, the tadpoles grow fat. When winter winds blow again, they burrow under the mud at the bottom of the pond. They do not eat, they do not move, they just sleep. When spring sunshine warms the tadpole's world, they awake, hungry. So they swim and eat and swim. Tiny hind legs begin to sprout. They grow longer and stronger while the tail grows shorter. Tiny front legs begin to show. The tadpoles look like long-tailed frogs. All summer, the tadpoles change more. Lungs develop and more. Mouths and eyes grow larger and more until they become frogs. When their tails disappear, they are no longer tadpoles. Now they use their strong legs and webbed feet to swim instead of their tails. Now they just rest on lily pads and leap onto land. The frogs flick out their long sticky tongues and capture worms, spiders, and dragonflies. Now where are the frogs? Slowly the days grow colder, winter winds blow, birds fly south. Now again the pond creatures hibernate. Where are the frogs now? The process in which a tadpole turns into a frog is called metamorphosis, and it is an amazing transformation. Here we have broken metamorphosis down so that you can see the stages as a tadpole goes through and develops into an adult. This is an egg mass laid by a frog. Each of those black dots is made up of a bunch of cells that will eventually grow into a tadpole. Depending on the species, these egg masses can be made up of several hundred eggs. Within a few days, the eggs develop into tadpoles. Tadpoles live completely underwater. After a few weeks, a hormone in the tadpole's thyroid gland initiates metamorphosis. Over about a 24-hour period, the tadpole develops into a frog. This means almost every organ has to change so the tadpole can go from living underwater to living on land as an adult frog. In this picture, you see the tadpole has started to grow hind legs. After the hind legs have formed, a pair of front legs will begin to develop and the tail will start to disappear. You might also notice that the tadpole has started to form a frog-like face. The tadpole's skull is made out of cartilage, the same stuff your nose and ears are made out of. But during metamorphosis, the cartilage is replaced with bone. When the tadpole reaches the froglet stage right here, it is almost a full adult. At this point, the tadpole's gills have disappeared and its lungs have enlarged. This means it is ready to leave the water and live on land. Once its tail disappears, it will become an adult frog. And then here, this is a fully grown frog. As you've just read, frogs grow through a lot to get to this phase. They will even go through changes that aren't visible in these pictures. The tadpole's teeth, once used to tear up plants, disappear and tongue muscles develop to catch insects. The tadpole's large intestines, important for digesting algae and plants, shrinks to suit the frog's meat-eating diet. I hope you guys enjoyed learning a little bit about frogs with me today. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys!